You can make more money with a smaller YouTube channel than a larger one. Let's talk about it. Hello, it's me. I'm Steven Allen. How are you doing today? So it is true. People that have a really large YouTube channel, it really depends on what you're talking about. So if you're talking about finance, if you're talking about something that appeals to a niche audience, like a very specific audience, with the finance, well, let me get through this. So with the finance, you can make more with your YouTube partnership program, YouTube partner program ads, because the CPM, RPM is higher. Often the finance people don't have like these multi-million dollar or multi-million subscriber counts on their videos, on their channels, and they don't get millions of views on the videos. Some of them do, but the CPM, RPM is much higher. So I'm not trying to, but this is more. I was planning on having this as a jacket, so this is better. But anyway, most of them have a very high CPM, RPM. CPM is cost per mil. RPM is revenue per mil. CPM is how much an advertiser is paying. RPM is how much you're getting paid per 1,000 views. And the M is 1,000. Mille, which is Latin for 1,000. It seems like it would be a million, but it's not. It's 1,000. It kind of works the same way in French because of Latin. But anyway, you get a much higher CPM, RPM with things that are related to money on YouTube. So you don't have to get a million views on a video or hundreds of thousands of views on videos. You can get thousands of views and you have a much higher CPM, RPM, a smaller audience, but you get paid more. With an audience, maybe with gaming and Minecraft, that appeals to a much younger audience, the CPM, RPM is much lower. So you can get, if you get the same amount of views as that finance person, you would earn a lot less. You would have to get way more views in order to earn the same amount, if that, because some you get millions of views and the CPM, RPM is so low, you hardly make anything at all. Like maybe 1 million views will give you $100. When with the financing, it would give you thousands of dollars. But anyway, there are these micro influencers. So these are people who, I feel like I need to open the window. Pause. Resume. It was so cold outside yesterday, and I thought it would feel kind of cold today, but it's feeling warm today, so I opened the window. So hopefully, yeah, that's feeling a bit better. But there are these micro influencers. So that means they have a smaller audience, maybe even less than 1,000 subscribers, but they're loyal, they're dedicated. So maybe you make videos about sewing or gardening or what else? About, let's see, I was going to say hair, but there's so many people that make videos about hair. There's so many people that do about sewing and gardening, but not as many. But about sewing, let's say you do sewing, you could have like a local sewing crafts store or like a larger one like Michael's, and they want to have you make a video for them. They want to sponsor you or whatever. That can happen because they want your dedicated niche audience, your expertise. They know that every view that you get on your video will be someone that will potentially want to shop at their store. If they went with like a much larger influencer, those audience members may just watch because they're into the clout or because other people are watching, or it's such a large audience that it's not going to be as easy for them to target who they want. And let's say it's with gardening, maybe Home Depot or Lowe's or some, I don't know, is it called a nursery for plants? Some gardening store might want to work with you. So a lot of people are successful having smaller audiences, whether it's 1,000, 5,000, 10,000, 50,000, as opposed to having like 2 million, 3 million, because I think companies were so excited about seeing these large numbers at first. They were like, oh, well, I want to run an advertisement with you because you have all of these subscribers. And now they're like, well, we want to target who we actually want. So this content creator, I'm not crazy about that term and everything, content and creator. But anyway, they're like, we want to target our actual audience. So instead of just looking for people who make videos and have large audiences to run ads with, we're going to find someone that does something similar to what our business does. And kind of the smaller, the better, especially if they have a really engaged audience. And also, I guess, because that person would be cheaper to work with if they wanted to run an ad with their video, not like the YouTube partner program ad, but kind of like a sponsored video ad. So that is how people can be really successful with that. And I guess if you have some varied interests, you could have multiple channels about those specific things. Because the larger you get, the more you're trying to appeal to a larger audience often. And that means you're not really specializing as much. It's more of like the masses. It becomes like pop music appeals to a wide range of people. And at that point, I think a lot of companies are realizing just running your ads on TV doesn't really do enough or a lot, especially if you are a smaller business. So the smaller businesses want to work with the smaller people. But that is a thing. However, I do think everyone who is making videos and doing this thing is striving to have a large audience because no one wants to really stay small forever. Some people do, but I think people want to have a go at doing something. With me and pursuing acting, it would be nice to, have what I'm doing also kind of transition more into that realm, which it kind of has from time to time. But I kind of it's weird. I've had some videos go viral, but it is nice being able to talk like this. And I know for the most part, at least right now, it's not getting thousands of views. So I feel kind of like I can talk about whatever I want or however I want. But if I knew as soon as I post a video, it's going to get 1 million views and people are going to pick apart everything you say and do, it makes you feel more apprehensive about what you're going to say or even posting the video at all. Or it can do that. And I think that's kind of the benefit of being not as well known on these social media platforms, that you have more flexibility in a way. But really, any video you post, it could take off. You never know. So it'll be that one video where you're saying something super personal or you're like, what? This had to go everywhere? So, yeah, something to keep in mind. Good problem to have if your video really took off. But that's the thing about being a smaller, having a smaller audience, that you might think, oh, well, I can't work with companies. I can't work with brands. I can't get sponsorships. You can with a smaller audience. Now, you don't want to have 2 subscribers and reach out and think someone's going to want to work with you. But if you are doing something very specific, like if you're just vlogging and talking about join me on my day out, and that's the title of your video, that's more difficult because that's more about your personality, which that can work, but it can be harder. But if you are saying, come out with me while I do some cheap grocery shopping, or like how to buy a week of groceries with only $10, and you do that every day, or you do that weekly, something related to food, or how to style your hair with natural ingredients or ingredients around your house, and you do that every day. Something that's about a niche thing like hair or food or cooking or organizing, designing. Those are areas where if you grow an audience, even if it's 500, 300 subscribers, you can do something with that. Excuse me. You can do something with that. You can start reaching out to companies. And I would reach out to companies that I know have worked with other influencers. So like we always hear about Squarespace. We used to hear about Honey all the time. Or like Better Me. Used to hear about them too. But anyway, these different companies that work with influencers, you can reach out to them, and you can reach out to smaller companies and just say like, you want to be If it's super small, they may not know how it works to do affiliate marketing where you have an affiliate link. But if it's like another way to approach it is maybe you work with the company, ask them for one of their products, and they will give you, like, maybe it's a gardening place and you do videos about gardening. You could ask for a shovel. Really, I'm thinking of another term, but I'm like, I don't want to say that in this video because the algorithm could think it's something else. What is it called when like a small, like a shovel or a small something, maybe like some pottery? What else? Or like something they could send in the mail that's related to gardening. And then you make a video about it. And then if you get the amount of views you typically get on your videos, they'll want to work with you again. And maybe the next time you ask for, like, I'll make a video, pay me $100, $200. And that's how people are growing and gaining revenue. And they're not necessarily a part of the partner program yet. So there are ways to do it, even if you are a smaller creator or whatever. But something to keep in mind is that, it's not necessarily going to happen immediately. Like, you have to reach out to quite a few companies. Sometimes maybe you hit on the first one, but that is something to keep in mind because people think, oh, I can't do this until, or I can't do this right now because I don't have a large enough audience, or I don't have enough followers. I don't have enough subscribers or enough views or enough likes. It can happen even if you are smaller. I had a gaming channel, or have a gaming channel. I haven't posted on in a while and want to start posting again. But I have on there about 1,000 subscribers, and, or actually, no, this was on TikTok. But anyway, a company reached out to me to work with me to give me a gaming controller because they saw my gaming videos. But they reached out because of TikTok, not because of YouTube. But, I'm not like a gaming person. I was just posting some Minecraft videos, and I was saying in the videos, I'm brand new to this. I don't know what I'm doing. And I was using a different controller, and they wanted to improve my gameplay and gave me an Xbox controller. And I thought, oh, this is going to be not real. But it was. It was real. It wasn't like a used controller. It was actually a customized controller, and I was using it in future videos. And I think what they thought is I'm going to continue to post. And if my viewers see this controller I'm using, they're like, how'd you get that custom controller? And so then they would have advertisement, moving forward. So everyone can benefit. Something to keep in mind that you don't have to wait until a certain point to reach out to XYZ on ABC. You could start from day uno to collect your coins. Another company reached out to me about, and this was like unrelated to anything I was really posting, but it was a water bottle, and it was a smart water bottle. And others have reached out too, but those were two that I can like think of right now that I can. Actually, a lot have reached out, and sometimes you can do it where they'll give you a product and you do a review. Sometimes they'll give you a product and pay you a certain amount of money to do a review, or sometimes they just want the product to show in the video for a certain amount of time. Sometimes they just want you to show it, mention it. Sometimes you don't have to mention it. It's different things. So you can talk about whatever you are comfortable with them when they reach out to you, but you can also reach out to them, because I was making a lot of videos on my main channel on video cameras, camcorders, because at first I was talking about film photography, then I was talking about something else before, but then I was talking about in 2020 about film photography. It got super expensive, and not even yet. It's just, or actually, I wasn't getting that many views. Then it got so expensive, and I was like, I'm glad I didn't grow a huge following with those videos. Possibly, if I did, the amount of money I would have made from it, I could have reinvested back into, but still, it's just so much more expensive now. But I started talking about camcorders because it uses tapes that are expensive, but you can reuse and re-record over the tape. And then I started talking about apps because I was like, you can just do everything on your phone. You don't even need an old camcorder. But I was doing the videos on the camcorders, and there are these digitizers where you can convert your analog footage from like a camcorder with tape to digital, so you can edit a video like this. So I purchased some on my own because I needed some for just on my own without the YouTube situation making videos. And then I started doing some reviews on them. And then I saw one company was working with this other person who was making videos about camcorders, and he didn't have a large audience. And they reached out to him, that company, and gave him a recorder to use. So I reached out to them and I said, oh, I make videos too. Could I do a review on your unit? And they were like, sure. And they sent one over to me. They just needed my address. I sent it to them. They sent it over to me. I did a review. So it was something I was interested in checking out anyway. And they wanted to work with people who make videos online to advertise their product. So, and at that time, I think I had maybe 2,000 subscribers on my YouTube channel. So I didn't have a ton. It wasn't like I had 50,000 or 75,000 or anything like that. Now, when you get to those numbers, then you have definitely companies reaching out to you every day. So a suggestion is to have a separate email, a business email, so that you're not flooded with all of that stuff with all of your personal emails in your regular email account. But that's for another video. Anyway, just saying that as a smaller YouTuber, as they say, I'm a smaller YouTuber. I'm not one of the large ones. I got a small audience over here. Anyway, with being a smaller YouTuber, you're able to make progress with your YouTube journey without having a huge audience yet. So that can help you to continue, even though you're not necessarily part of the partner program. Even if you are a part of the partner program, you're not necessarily making bank, depending on what you're posting, because you have to meet a $100 threshold in order to get a payout. Some people get it every month. Some people get well over that every month. Some people get that every 3 months, every 6 months. So it depends. And I think every YouTube person mentions that they have other ways that they are monetizing their situation. Affiliate links. So having a product that they feature in the video and having a link in the description so someone clicks on it when they make a purchase, you end up getting a portion of that sale. The sponsorship, sponsored videos, sponsored products. Maybe someone sends you a product, you do a review, then you could sell it. That with something like Patreon, where people subscribe to you in a way of like paying a certain amount of money every month. Maybe it's $1, $2 because they just want to support your journey. So there are different things in different ways. So if you are in this situation where you don't have a large audience yet, but you do have a dedicated audience, maybe every video you post gets over 100 views, gets 300 views, something to check out if you have not already started checking this out. Whatever you do, whatever it is, you probably are specializing in some type of area. See if you can incorporate other companies into what you're doing. Now, if you do like a food channel, like a cooking channel, you could also incorporate like testing, tasting, restaurant stuff. Like you could say, hey, I have this cooking channel. This would be a good idea. This is something I would be interested in doing. Like, don't steal my idea, but like, honestly, there's room for everyone. I want to do like a cooking channel, but I also kind of want to incorporate tasting food, like testing things out. So the way to do it where you're bridging the gap and not making it where like one video is just tasting, another video is just cooking, and then the algorithm is going back and forth with which type of video to push, you could kind of mix the two. So you could do your cooking videos, and then when you want to do your tasting videos, you could do something like, okay, we're going to taste this fast food French fry, and then I'm going to try to make a similar French fry myself. Or you can go to a restaurant, because that's something you probably have to buy, like a fast food French fry or whatever. You could go to a restaurant and they could prepare a meal or a dish or a side item, and then you try to recreate that at home. So the sponsorship portion could be you reach out to the restaurant and say, hey, I make YouTube videos and I want to know if I could taste test one of your dishes and see if I could recreate it at home, make something similar at home. They may feel like, I don't want you to do that. But the whole thing is like, even if you fail, it's entertaining. And then you're advertising the restaurant. And maybe you say like, I can't make it at home. You have to try this restaurant whenever you're in town. So food for thought. And that wouldn't require too much work. You would just have too much additional work. It's still the cooking video. The only portion you add to is you go to the restaurant, you film yourself eating and trying it out and, showing some video pictures of it. Then you go home and make your normal video of you cooking something. But then you get to get out of the house. You get to partner with someone else. And then if you do it enough, maybe the first time, the second time, whatever, you can ask for a little bit of compensation on top of the meal. It's like they're paying you to eat their food. But like a lot of restaurants would be eager to do that because they have leftover food. Maybe you show up an hour before they open or an hour after they close and they, do something like that. It could be a dessert. It could be a side item. It could be a meal, a dish, or whatever. And then you try to recreate it at home. That's an idea. That's just a thought that I just thought of right now. But anyway, that's enough for now. Just saying you can be a smaller YouTuber, social media person and still do something. You can still get You don't have to be large and in charge yet. But anyway, hit the bell, hit the star, the thumbs up, subscribe, do all the things. And until next time, I'm Steven Allen. Take a little time to make art and be brilliant. I'll talk to you later. Goodbye.